Hello everybody, I'm snowed in today, which means I didn't really know what else to do other than open up some Dreamblade miniatures, and I thought, why not stream it? So this is a gamble. As you know, Dreamblade used to be a Hasbro game, and it was connected with Wizards of the Coast, actually. And frankly, it was a kind of a cool game, because unlike many of the games, these are all pre-painted. So we have weirdly scaled, pre-painted miniatures. Some of them might be good for D&D, some of them might not. How long till we start? We're starting right now! Oof. Snowed in, yes. I'm in New Hampshire right now, and I'm snowed in. There's a winter weather warning. Generally speaking, if I was in New York, I'd be out on the roads, no issue. New Hampshire, though, people do not know how to drive. Weird fact about New Hampshire, people don't know how to drive here. So if there's any snow on the ground, don't go outside. And so I'm not going to be doing that. So I'm opening the first box here. These are sealed in a cart. The man, that is some old glue. But it doesn't look like these have been resealed. Hopefully they have not. That's always an issue. Let's just take a quick look here for our first mini. Let's scale it down a little bit. Oh, we're gonna have to get rid of that Blandco thing, because that's gonna cover up everything. Hold up, let me just mute that here for a second. There we go. Oh boy, just a... You know what? This will have to be good right there. So here we have a smaller scale miniature. This would probably be close to 28mm. Not too bad. But, you know, somewhat useless for, well, the blank face, maybe a doppelganger? Don't know. Interesting. Yeah, I hope everybody's having nicer weather than us. Oh, and I got one that I've never seen before. This is awesome. Okay, this is definitely not refilled then, because this is definitely a rare miniature, man. Thank you! I'm trying to improve my content. This is a Dreamblade miniature that, in all my years of collecting Dreamblade, I have never seen before. It's actually really cool looking. Let me get it on the spot here. Look at that guy. Heck, that is a cool miniature. I like that a lot. Let me see if I can get a real nice center focus on that guy. I despise this program because every time you open up the autofocus thing, it automatically goes behind. So let's see what we got here. That's pretty much in focus as we're gonna get, guys. Let's just do autofocus. Yeah, autofocus is not a good idea. Yeah, that's a nice mini. Boy, I wish this setup was actually a little bit better. Try if I can perhaps get a little bit closer, just so you guys can see the miniatures a little bit better. Because frankly, these are actually some decent miniatures. This guy, I can't believe it. My second miniature pulled. It's one I've never seen before. That's actually pretty cool. That's a nice miniature. Boy, I should have gotten a comparison miniature up there, but that is cool. Nice large dude. I've never seen that miniature before in my life. It's called a Echion Wayfarer. Yeah, that's cool. That's really cool. You could touch that guy up, or you could just cut him off his base, and I could use that as is. That's a nice miniature. All right, so cool. I mean, the second miniature, and we already got a good pull, so I like that a lot. These were on eBay with a coupon. Every once in a while, eBay will have a 20% coupon, so you can sometimes find guys selling old stock of Dreamblade for super cheap. So with a good price and the 20% on eBay, you can get a decent price. The classic Knight of the Autumn Gate, which is a nice little pumpkin-headed dude there. That's interesting. Dreamblade. Now, this is the base set of Dreamblade, so this is the first set. This is just set 1 or the base set. We have a Monkey Doctor. Not all Dreamblades are going to be useful for D&D, sadly. Monkey Doctor is sadly not going to be very useful. Ooh, well, we have a nice Bone Clan Hunter, though. That would be a cool miniature. That would be very useful. For like maybe a Goliath guy. He's a little bit bigger. The monkey guy, I don't know. Maybe somebody can think of a creative use to redo him. Let's see here. Let's just see here. So we have a Heart Renderer. So that's weird. So we have a werewolf that's literally tearing itself apart. So this is just a full-on werewolf that apparently another werewolf is tearing itself out of. A nice enough miniature. But man, that's bizarre. Like a weird demon werewolf tearing itself out of a regular werewolf. Oh yeah, here's one of my favorite little Dreamblade miniatures. I always use these as like kind of like sentry points. And this is a Hell Shrieker. That's a cool little miniature right there. It's all made up of disgusting insects. That's pretty cool. So this one I always like to use in Warhammer as like if there's a demonic chaotic outpost, they would have these guys like on the outskirts of camp that would just start screaming if anything walked near them. So they'd be like kind of an early warning system. Oh wow. Now these are popping open super easy, and normally I might be a little bit suspicious of that, but I think it's just because they're such old stock and they might have been stored under not great conditions. And if you get stuff like that, then sometimes you know, they're just gonna pop open like that. So let's just see here. So that's pretty cool. This is yet another Dreamblade miniature which I have never seen before. Wow, now this is a bizarre one, similar. This is the Unspeakable Freak. This is one of the ones that's going to be like impossible. Obviously, could be used as a gibbering mouther very easily. That's pretty cool though. Now with these ones with the base this big, man, sometimes it's impossible to get the bases off these guys. So if I use this one, I would probably just repaint the big thick plastic base. Because this would not be an easy one to get off. You can tell from the hard plastic. That is cool. I'm going to leave that guy up there for a while. That's a nice little miniature. I've been getting some really good pulls. Aw, yeah. One of my other favorite ones. The, what is known as the Iron Thug. Let's just see if I can get a better mix of music here, man. They're killing me. Alright. So then we have the Iron Thug, and I like to use this guy as a chain golem. So this guy's just made up of all sorts of little chains, and if you dry brush this with silver, then you actually get a really nice effect. Or you could try to pick out a couple chains to highlight in silver, and it looks pretty cool. So that's really nice. Get some good pills. Okay, and we're back to the Dreamblade weirdness with the gun-possessed killer, who is certainly a cool miniature. You would assume this guy was from the straight from the mid-90s, but yeah, interesting sculpt, way out of scale with D&D, and like, you know, unless you're doing some sort of weird sci-fi fantasy thing, not very useful. However, we have a lovely hive pincher here, which this is just, I mean, come on, what a great bug, what a great insect creature for D&D. Very nice stuff. Do I sell the Owlbear miniatures? Sadly, no, I don't. I have not figured out a way to get them to be reproduced. I'm looking into 3D scanning it to see if I can make, or even start from scratch and sculpt another 3D version of it, so I can sculpt it up easily. Yeah, these bases are big, thick, hard plastic. So depending on what the miniature is like, it's going to be very difficult to get them off there. And these are very, very tough plastic too. These are meant for wargaming. Super tough plastic. Cannot stress that enough. This is a Rainforest Shaman, which is actually not a bad miniature. I haven't seen this guy much before. As you can see, sometimes with the paint jobs, they have all these details, but they'll just do a minimum paint job, so everything's kind of the same color. But this guy's carrying around like a lot of totems and stuff. It's pretty cool. Again, very tough to get off this base. This is solid plastic on the bottom here. The top part is rubbery, kind of rubbery Hasbro plastic. But the bottom here, super tough thing. And of course, he's got some, I think these are supposed to be feathers, maybe? Or maybe it's just all of his hair. But yeah, super tough plastic on the bottom. They're very difficult to get off. I know people have success removing these bases with a hot knife or a similar tool like that. And I might have to try that. Oh, we got a really nice one. I love this. This is a Steelborn Lion. And you'll see that why I'm super excited about this guy. Look at that. That's a cool miniature. That's a pretty cool miniature. Mechanical wings. That's pretty nice. I like that a lot. I don't know if there's a specific D&D creature I would actually attribute this guy to, but he's very nice looking. I'm getting a lot of really nice ones. I'm super excited about this. Oh, and I'm getting it. Already got a dupe though. But I already got a dupe of the bizarre werewolf tearing himself out of the other werewolf. But still, I'm not complaining, folks. I've gotten some really nice miniatures so far. I mean, that one dude with the axe is just really nice. Yeah, hero clicks are pretty easy to get off the base. Not too bad. Ooh, I like this. Every once in a while, they'll come with like a little cardboard thing there to kind of keep them from poking out at other miniatures. And this is a Dream Reef Marauder. So, not a bad little miniature. This is basically just a fin coming out of the waves. This is kind of cool looking. Iron Golem or Gargoyle. Either of those would work well. Well, I got another pumpkin guy. Unless I get something new, I think I'll just avoid showing you the ones you've already seen before. Oh, here's one I've not seen. Now this is interesting. This is a very large miniature, but it's of a humanoid creature. Whoa. Now that's pretty cool. I mean, that's interesting. Obviously a Native American-ish design. Very cool little shield there. It's got some nice Nice, interesting designs on his cloak. And he's got the classic club. This is probably... This actually looks like maybe like a Mayan or Incan club, where it has the little obsidian shards set into it. I don't think that's a North American club. That looks like a South American Indian club. So it's weird, the design on this thing. It almost is like a mixture of both North and South native peoples design. Kind of weird. Large miniature, though. Aztec. You know what? I think you're right. That actually does... Now that I look at it, I think that is Aztec-y. Ooh, yeah! And I got the one. This is the one on the box. This is this person right here. This is the Lunar Handmaiden. This is kind of a cool miniature. That's pretty much 28mm scale. It's maybe a slightly, like a tiny bit bigger. But that's pretty cool. All that translucent material, if you touch that up a little bit, you could probably get that looking pretty cool. That's nice. I like that. It's a little bit squished, but I like that. I really like what they were going for with some of these sculpts, because they really took advantage of the translucent material. For example, on this one, you can kind of tell that they were really trying to go for like a thing where you could actually see through the miniature to the other side. But yeah, no, that worked out pretty well. This did get a little bit scooshed. Let me see if I can temporarily fix the scimitar here. But yeah, that's a nice miniature. I like that. Yeah, this is definitely one of the ones you can remove very easily. You just easily chop off the where the base meets the soft plastic on top. That is supposed to be a big old scimitar, I believe. Oh, here's another one. This is definitely slightly larger than 28mm, but that's not too bad. Little samurai guy there. Some details in his robes and whatnot. Not so bad. And we have the Pick, which is a bizarre little miniature here. Kind of like an oblong little guy with 3 protrusions here. They're supposed to be little things. I'm not sure if this is supposed to be like a little walking brain or something. I'm not sure. Another one of those guys. Never seen one of those that wasn't all squished up. Oh, and this reminds me of a D&D monster that I can never remember the name of. Something that I've read in the book. This is a treacherous... Now, if you look at it like this, you'll see... Oh, it's just a female miniature. But then if you turn it to the side, you can see there's some translucent tentacles coming out the back. You know, there's a monster actually in the D&D 5e that actually has like just a regular form, and then like in the back it's all just this disgusting monster. So that's kind of cool. I don't know if I could do something with that. It's not a bad sculpt. And again, I love translucent effects. All right. So this one seems pretty heavy. So let's see if we can get some good ones from here. Oh, here we go. One of the classic Dreamblade miniatures that I've used already. It's the Savage Ogre. Already a great miniature to use. You could add this to the table, just rebasing it, and it would look fine. It's got his weird skin color, some protrusions, some, you know, little scales. Very nice looking. So I know I paid, there's 7 miniatures in each, and I believe I paid about $5 per box. I don't know. All I know is I know I paid $5 per box shipped, and there's 7 miniatures per box. So even though I'm getting some duds here, I think I'm definitely getting my money worth out of this. Yeah, that might have been from Tome of Foes. Tome of Foes. The Tomb of Foes. Or the Tome of Foes. Not sure which. There's a skeever hatchling. That would make a nice little, probably like an early warning demon device, or perhaps a weird statue someplace. That's pretty somewhat interesting. See, the troll actually would be super easy to remove the base. Anytime you see the floppy Hasbro plastic meet the hard plastic meet, these are actually still easy to remove from the base. Oh, yes! And I got another one of the ones that is on the box, and one of the other ones that was actually really good for D&D. It's this guy here. This is the Dreadmorph Ogre. As you can see, that's a really cool one to use for D&D. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Could maybe use a different paint job, or maybe even just a wash. Perhaps a more fleshy color. But yeah, a lot of nice little details there. The weird protrusions on his back have little almost eyes. And he definitely looks like a mutated ogre. Very nice miniature. I like this guy. Again, I'm not sure what the gorilla... there's a gorilla who has an octopus for a head. And I'm not sure what set that's from. I don't think it's from this set. But that's my one unicorn from the Dreamblade series that I've never gotten yet. So maybe one of these days. Yeah, this is the Dreadmorph Ogre. Yeah, Dreadmorph Ogre. That's a pretty cool miniature. We have a nice little blind spike mauler. That's a pretty cool miniature. Obviously too big to be a normal human enemy, but it could be like a tortured Goliath or something like that. Oh, speaking of scale, this one right here is actually right in the scale of a dwarf. And he is called a rune-tagged brawler. Look at that. That's a bizarre miniature. Now, the idea of this one, I think, is that he's supposed to have all these silver runes. So they did kind of like a base paint of silver, and then they painted flesh above it. So you can barely see that. Even if I zoom in, I don't think you'd be able to see that all much. But, useful for, a couple different things. What do we got here? We got something good. Let's do this one. Oh, here we go. The Purple Lady. I already have this one. It's a nice enough miniature. This is a Luring Succubus. But I used this one as kind of just a... I used this one as a demi-goddess in one of my campaigns. So, completely clear, except for the cloak. Pretty interesting sculpt. Turn it a little bit, you can see the face and everything. Pretty cool miniature. Alright. And we have a Blight Rat. So you might assume what a Blight Rat is just from hearing what the name is. But it's definitely a little bit different. We got a Blight Rat there, which, as you can tell, just a severely mutated one arm there. Just one color, but if you repainted this is actually look pretty cool. Because he's got some scales, obviously, and he's got pretty good detail. He's clearly all mutated up. And he's got some weird mutations. This would look super interesting if you repainted it. And picked out all these details. Yeah, that's actually kind of a cool looking miniature now that I'm considering it. That's pretty cool. Yeah, that would actually make a really good classic Banshee. Did not even consider that. That's pretty cool. Whoop. Oops. Alright, good. Skaven. Yeah, it's definitely mutated Skaven. Oh, here's another one. This is one that I already own, but it's a pretty cool miniature. It's called a Blade Hound. But clearly this would make a very good, you know, Celestial Guardian or something like that. A lot of good detail on these Dreamblade miniatures. You can see he's got all sort of like scarification wounds on his back there, or maybe intentional tattoos that are all patterned up. That's pretty cool. Let's see here. How many minis do I own at this point? Too many. I've collected a lot of them. I'm going to have to pare down my collection. So, this guy is definitely too sci-fi. It's called Night of Tomorrow. And clearly some sci-fi-ness going on with this dude. As far as I know, there's no method to strip the paint from Major Knight miniatures. What I have usually done is sanded them down a little bit, re-primed them, and then painted over, or I just painted over directly. Both methods have worked pretty good. But as far as I know, whatever paint Hasbro put on these guys, it is not leaving easily. So there's no method that I know of getting rid of the paint on these particular miniatures. It would be very, very difficult. Oh, cool. That's cool. I've never seen this one before. This is called it's a Green Life Dryad, which I've never seen before. Kind of cool. I like the sculpt, like where it's just obviously it kind of looks like her legs end with roots. That's pretty cool. Recommendations: remove from the bases to glue on a D&D standard base. If you were dealing with ones that kind of look like this, then it's easy enough to do with a nice knife. I mean, just be very, very careful. But some of the bigger ones, just don't bother, because it's really, really hard to get them off the base. But, yeah. The Dryad looks pretty good. I'll have to definitely, like... textured. Hot Knife. Hot Knife is I've never tried a Hot Knife before. Apparently, a Hot Knife works pretty well. What about acetone? Acetone would probably end up melting the material that these are made of, because these are made of the Hasbro kind of rubbery plastic, and acetone would probably just melt these guys super quickly. Hey, it's Iron Tusk. Hey, Iron Tusk Miniatures. Glad you decided to stop by my dumb little stream here. I'm just opening up some Dreamblade miniatures and considering if some of these are going to be useful for D&D. This guy here I used in Warhammer as part of like a dungeon crawl where they were going through kind of like they were going through like this weird like space that was like kind of like a an asylum for like people that had been mutated by chaos. So even though this dude looks pretty freaking weird, it fit in well with that. So you could always just take off the head and make this into like, you know, and just a human as well. That would be nice. Again, I hope everybody's night is going well. I'm snowed in. That's why I'm doing this little stream here, because I don't want to go out on the roads because people don't know how to drive. Automobile degreaser is something that a lot of people use. I have not used it personally on Dreamblade, so I don't know. I know Dreamblade miniatures are like 50-50 weird or cool. Yes. When we're talking about Dreamblade, that is much. That's why when you buy them, just bear that in mind. You don't know how many usable miniatures you're going to get from these. Again, I paid about $5 per box, and you get 7 miniatures per box. So boom. This is, what is this? This is a little train piece. It's called Skull Hill. Kind of cool, but also a little bit small for D&D. You could maybe use this as a signpost or something like that. Yeah, let's see here. Oh, we got another one that's all boxed in, which means this is going to be all sharp. Right, so we got another Hell Shrieker. Again, I like this miniature, so I'm glad I got 2 of these. I can always use more of these. I've never heard of it. I'll have to check it out. Right, and finally, for the very last miniature that we have pulled tonight, we have pulled a Thunder Sultan. Which, dang. That's, I would say that's Dreamblade in a nutshell right there. All right. Yeah, I have pretty good storage options for my miniatures. I just need to actually sit down and just, like, you know, go through them and organize them a little bit more. But, yeah. Don't know how useful this guy is. He's a pretty cool sculpt. But I don't know how many times I'm going to have... So, don't know about this guy. Yeah, I don't know if there is, yeah. Getting pretty close to, yeah. But yeah, by far, the second miniature that I opened up tonight. Super happy. This little guy right here. This Wayfarer miniature. What a nice little guy. I love the pose on this guy. Looks very threatening. I love the little details on him. I mean, he clearly has taken out some guys in the past, and he is not concerned about player characters, clearly. Really like this miniature. I thought I got some good pulls tonight, guys, so excellent. Alright then. Well, I hope you guys had a nice evening. I got some really good miniatures from this pull. Super happy that I bought this again. Unfortunately, I can't give you a link because this was an eBay sale, so somebody was just getting rid of a carton of these, and I got a really good price, and I got an extra 20% off because of an eBay coupon. So, but yeah, sometimes you can get these on eBay for a good price. Sometimes people throw a bunch of the common ones in a just a quick sale, just get rid of them, and yeah, you can find some really cool deals. But yeah, thank you so much for all stopping by. I mean, there's a bunch of people that stopped by tonight. Thank you so much. If you're at all interested, I'm going to be doing more videos this weekend. Probably going to be doing Probably not another unboxing, but I'm working on a video right now where a project to convert a toy into a D&D terrain thing went horribly wrong. Let's just say don't buy Instant Putty anymore if you find it in a store on deep discount. There is a very good chance that the Instant Putty is going to be completely out of date and won't work correctly. Stick to green stuff. Stick to Neatitite. Stick to newer stock. Don't fall into the trap and sheep out like I did and buy reduced priced crafting supplies when it's something like that. When it's something like that, just pay the extra money and get the stuff that you know has not gone out of date. Because the Instant Putty that I used in this project was just awful and it did not work correctly at all. So, alright. Sculpey is good, like Sculpey. That's what I made the mushrooms out of from my last little thing. And that's it. Alright then. Have a nice evening, everybody. If it's snowing, then please watch out if you have to drive tomorrow because the roads are going to stink. But I hope you guys have a nice evening. Thank you for dropping by. As always, if you have any questions, please let me know in the community tab or go to my Facebook at Blandco YouTube on Facebook. I've been trying to push the Facebook a little bit more, just kind of diversify my stuff a little bit more. I'm going to try to maybe get some other stuff going, but that's all for now. This was kind of a last-minute thing because of the snow, and I hope you guys have a really nice evening.